So we're back with the 2001 Yamaha YZ125. We ran into some issues with this thing last video. So we actually picked this thing up like 3 months ago. I think it was like 1,200 bucks I think we paid for it. And we actually rebuilt it once before. But upon further inspection, the cylinder for the 2001 YZ125 was actually leaking. So I sent that cylinder out. We're waiting for that to be repaired. In the meantime, last video, we bought a new pipe, a new cylinder, a new head, and those were all from a 1998, not a 2001. So the 2001 cylinder, the pipe actually goes on the outside, and on the 1998, the pipe fits on the inside. So we had to buy a new pipe to match the cylinder. The other thing that we found last video that I didn't know about was the power valves. The power valves are different in 2001 and 1998. So here are the ones from 2001. And as you can see, they're not even close to fitting. And we found that out last video when we tried to swap them over. So that was a nice $200 surprise. So we got these new ones from a 1998 on eBay, and those were $200. So we're another $200 deep into this project, and I think we've got like $2,500 invested in total so far. So at least we've got the power valves now. We can start rebuilding this thing and hopefully get this thing up and driving the way it should today. It's been a long process, but hopefully today's the day we get to ride this thing. All right, so we're gonna start with the power valves here. Just gonna put a dab of oil on each of the power valves, and I'll show you guys which way these go in. And you really can't mess it up. So these are going to go in with the groove. See the groove cut out on the bottom here? Down, so it's going to be facing down. And it's going to look like that. So the shaft right here will be straight out. If you try to put it in the other way, they will fit, I think. But the shaft will be pointing down like that. That's incorrect. So you want the shaft to be straight across. So just like this. Just like that. Now we've got the other one here. Just put a very light amount of oil on there. Just using some 2-stroke oil. Same thing. Groove, the cutout groove, facing down. And the little shaft right there will be poking out like that. So hopefully they gave me all the parts for this thing. Bag full of parts here. So we've got the spring there with the, should have a little Allen screw like that, yep. All right, we've got the shaft. That all looks pretty good. All right, so we've got 2 screws with a washer. These are going to lock these power valves in place right here. So that just prevents the power valve from coming out. Make sure those are nice and tight. And then you've got the other one right here, same thing. A little screw with a washer. Get that in the other side. Nice and tight. All right, now we're gonna get this little guy on. Spring, 2 posts there. That's gonna go right over the power valves like that. Then you're gonna get our shaft in. Just gonna put a little oil on that, a little 2-stroke oil. Lube that up a little bit. Stroke oil. And now you can get these spacers in there. Go just like that. And then you're gonna look in here and you're gonna line up the hole. You can see the hole coming by right there. So that's gonna be where the set screw goes in. One bolt. That goes in right like that. Just tighten that down. Just like that, and then you can test it out, make sure they're smooth. Everything is good. If it's binding, obviously you did something wrong. So everything looks perfect there. There's this little stopper right here on the side. So it's gonna go in there like that. And you're gonna get a bolt. And you're gonna go right there with that. All right, looks good. Power valves look good. Let's see if they're moving. Everything's super smooth. So power valve installation's done. Gasket goes on next with our cover. You can see it's labeled. It says up right there with an arrow. So you really can't mess that up. Just like that. Get your screws in there. All right, let's get the base gasket on. I'll have the ultra black on there just to help out the base gasket. Let's see. That looks good. See how that kind of gets in the way? Kind of have to move you around like that a little bit. It'd be pretty easy to get on. Alright, now we'll just turn this over, make sure it's smooth. Oh yeah. If you guys don't remember from last video, we installed that piston. It's a Pro X piston. Alright, just make sure this is smooth in there. Wow, that's perfect. Looking really good. can hook up the power valve linkage here. So this can go on just like this. And we can get the little bolt in there. That goes on like that. And you've got the cover that goes on. All right, time to get the head on. We have two O-rings here. I'm just gonna put a little oil on those. Lube those up a little bit. Get that around here. That one looks good. Got the smaller one. Lube that one up. It's typically the smaller one. Let's see if that one fits in there good. Gonna have to stretch that one just a little. There we go. It sits nice and flat now. Now we can get the head on. Sit just like this. Make sure those gaskets are lined up still. Perfect. I'm gonna quick tighten these down before those O-rings move on us. All right, we torqued the cylinder nuts to 22 foot-pounds, and the head nuts are gonna be 20 foot-pounds. perfect. All right, let's see if this pipe's gonna fit on here. All right, pipe is all bolted up. Down there, looks good. Looking perfect. So since we've got a new FMF pipe on there, we're gonna wanna do the jetting on this bike. So let's see what jets are in here, and then we'll change them out if they're the incorrect kind. There we go. All right, carburetor's off. All right, let's see what we got going on for jets here. Okay, pretty clean in there. All right, so we got the pilot and the main there. Let's check what we got going on. All right, main jet looks like it's at, that's hard to read. I cannot read that. We're gonna have to come back and clean that off. Let's see what the pilot's at. All right, pilot is at 25. All right, so pilot's at 25. So let's look up stock jetting for this, and then we'll compare it to the FMF. For 2001 YZ125, FMF recommended settings. We're looking at pilot jet 25, main jet 450, needle stock, clip position second, and air screw 1 out. So we just turned the air screw 1 out. We've got the pilot at 25. Now we just have to figure out what the main jet is at. All right, so I tried to see what the jet size was, and it looks like it might be rubbed off. Tried to clean this thing up the best I could. So we're just gonna run this. We've got a 460 we can try as well, but we'll run this, the one that was in there, and see how it runs, and then adjust it from there. All right, so let's get some coolant in here. Hopefully it doesn't leak from the head like it did last time. See anything leaking yet? See when we fire it up. All right, let's get some oil in it. All right, 650 milliliters going in. Get the funnel in there. Using 10W40 wet clutch oil. Perfect. All right, got a brand new plug going in. This is the BR9EG equivalent plug. That's all they had in stock at the store here, so. Usually I buy NGK. This one's actually more expensive than NGK. It's actually $12 for one plug. All right, this thing's all back together. We've got oil in it, coolant in it, brand new top end rebuild, new pipe on there, carb is cleaned. So without further ado, let's see if she fires up. It's looking really nice though. Well, she runs. I think we need a little fine tuning though. Alright, I noticed a little gas leaking out of the carb here. So we're going to take off the carb, check that out. And I actually rode it for the first time, and it bogs really bad when you're going full speed. So I'm guessing that main jet is too small in there. So we'll bump it up to a 460, see if that helps. But everything else is good, no leaking any coolant or anything like that. So that's awesome, that's fixed at least. Alright, upon further inspection, I was taking out the carb and I noticed there was a little like oily gas substance right above the boot there. And I noticed that those screws were all loose, so we tightened up those bolts, and I think there's an air leak at the manifold there. So they were really loose. I don't know what happened. I don't know if I took those off previously to building this thing to check out the reeds or what, but those were extremely loose, so I think it was just sucking in air through there, and that's why it was kind of idling high. So let's see if that fixes the problem. But before we get the carburetor back on, I want to see why this thing's leaking. Alright, so gas was leaking out of the gasket area on the carb here. So let's take a peek underneath the float here, see what's going on. that seat. That looks good. All right, that sounds a lot better. See how the idle comes back down instantly now? That's perfect. All right, something's going on with the silencer too. So this bolt was rattling loose and then a bunch of smoke was puffing through the back here. So let's get this one open. Might need to be repacked, I'm not sure. Maybe it's clogged a little bit. Yeah, this is like all broken. That's the O-ring from the exhaust. Looks like it was broke. Yeah, look at that. It's all broken in there. Let's see if I can pull this packing out of here. Not working. And puffing out the back there. Look at that cage. It's all broken in there. See that? This was all broken. Not good. So that's supposed to be going all the way back like that. Wonder if I have another exhaust for this thing. It's supposed to go all the way back. It's not going all the way back there. Well, we welded up the cage here. Nice and sturdy now. But I don't think it's gonna be long enough. We'll try to repack it and see if that works, but I think we need a new one of these guys. So unfortunately, more money can be stuck into this thing. All right, we got the silencer repacked back on, but it's still blowing smoke out of the end there, so we'll have to get a new silencer for it. All right, so I took it for a quick ride. It's getting dark here already, but it was still bogging when you hit the throttle. So we're gonna check that needle position next. I messed with the air screw, that didn't do anything. So we know it's not the pilot jet. All right, let's see what this clip position's at. Okay. Now we can get the needle out. That's a 6mm in there. Yeah. All right. So we should move the needle. Looks like up one here. It's at the third clip, so it's at the middle one. Should be at the second one from the top. All right, we're gonna move this clip to the second position here instead of the third. And what that's gonna do is make the needle leaner. So that actually lowers the needle further in, because it's sitting lower now, into the main jet, and it's going to allow less fuel in. So that's kind of how that works. If you're going to move the clip down, it raises the needle up, allowing more fuel in. So we're going to reinstall that and just see if that works. All right, it's still a little boggy. There's like a little hesitation there. You twist the throttle, it goes like that. So we're going to try a bigger main jet. I turned the choke on, and it actually seemed a lot better. So we'll try that. and see what happens here. All right, we've got the 460 here. See if that makes a difference. Lock down. It's kind of hard to jet this thing because it's got the 1998 cylinder power valves. It's got the 2001 carb, so we'll get her, but yeah, she's a little challenging. All right, finally, I got this thing dialed in. Probably took me 2 hours to get this thing tuned right. So what we did was we changed that main jet out to a 460. I'm not sure what was in there before. I'm guessing like a 420, 430. It was still having weird issues, but top end, it would fly. So I'm like, okay, main jet is good. I kept on lifting up the choke and it was getting better with the choke on. So I'm like, that's weird. So we checked the pilot and changed that and it made it worse. So we put the pilot back in. Then we went back to the needle clip position. So we actually went to the second position from the bottom. So we made it richer. And that was the ticket. This thing absolutely flies now. No bogging on the low end there. And because of that 460 main, I mean, it just strings out. It's really, really fast. So we got this thing perfect. Let's go take it to the land and go test drive it. We'll bring the jet kit along just in case, but I think we got her. All right, made out to the land. It snowed yesterday, so we've got some snow on the ground now. But we spent all day yesterday rebuilding this thing and tuning it. Took me about 2 hours to finally get this thing tuned up and right. So today we're gonna test it out, do a couple long passes on it, make sure it's all good to go. And we brought the jet kit along just in case. All right, here's the finished product here. Turned out pretty good.
First kick every time.
I'd say the jetting is pretty much spot on. There could be a slight adjustment to the air screw, but I'm not even gonna mess with it. It's pretty good. Just on takeoff, it just bogs, just a slight bog, but that's if you clutch it wrong. So every 125 is like that. So yeah, I'd say it's pretty much perfect. Doesn't break up at all. The top speed on this thing is crazy. No bogging in any gear. So I'd say our jetting is spot on. We will confirm that when we check the plug when we get back home. Looking pretty clean. All right, bike is all cleaned up. Let's quick check out that spark plug in here and see how it's running. All right, let's see if we can get in here. Get this out of here. Oh, we're on the spark plug. That came right out, so that's good. Be interesting to see what this looks like. Oh yeah, look at that. Nice and brown. That is perfect. So we're pretty much spot on with the jetting. All right, quick check our coolant here. All right, coolant is still topped off. There's no leaks in the coolant at all. Perfect. All right, here's the oil check bolt. Let's see what the oil looks like here. Yep, it just comes out right there. You can see it's nice and gray. So oil checks out. We didn't want it milky, so that looks good. Well, it was definitely a process getting the bike to this point, but I think we can officially say it's done besides the silencer. So we'll order up a new silencer for it, and this thing will be good as new. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. It runs great, zero issues, zero leaks, and we were able to tune it pretty good. I mean, that's pretty much spot on for tuning, so everything turned out pretty good. Probably better than expected. So hope you guys enjoyed the long videos of rebuilding this thing and getting it to where it is now. Definitely, like I said before, it took a lot of work, but I'm really happy with the outcome. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. Stay tuned for next video, and until next time, we are out.